Hey, how you doing? My name is Taku Dave, and you are back for another exciting episode of the Young Money Show on ZFM Stereo, where we're talking to young people who are not just making a change in their own lives, but a change in the society and the industry that they operate in, one day, one deal at a time. Today, I'm joined by an exciting young lady, Chelsea Bartosz, who's taken the wedding industry by storm, completely reinventing what we know about the wedding industry and making it a digital platform that you can find convenience for your weddings through a business. Chelsea, thank you so much for being on the program today.
Thank you for hosting me.
Yeah, and I always say it on the show, it's always a mission to get people in the studio. But once we've got you here, we really see why we're excited to be here, and hopefully we have a conversation that someone out there can latch onto and take this with their journey, their entrepreneurial journey. Yeah, so Charles, let's get straight into it. You are an Mnet Shark Tank champion, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me about it. Tell me, what were you? What year was that?
Yeah, so that was 2017 on the Southern African version, Mnet, as we all know it, I'm sure. So they're a subsidiary of the Shark Tank ABC in America. We had 5 sharks in the tank. And you basically have to give your 3-minute pitch in 3 minutes, no interruptions, and hope you get some sharks biting at you.
And how did that go for you? How was the pressure of operating, in that type of environment with the sharks waiting there for you? And also just the fact that you're working against the creme de la creme of whatever entrepreneurial space you're in. How was that?
Yeah, so there's pressure, and there's no such thing as time there. You've got literally 3 minutes, and we had a week to prepare from the application date, so they definitely don't waste time. You are on adrenaline for the full week, and you walk into the tank, and there's a lot of pressure, but sometimes pressure's good. So.
And now you've gone out, and you are in the entrepreneurial space, operating in the entrepreneurial space with your business, which is Plan My Wedding.
Yeah.
Right. And we know weddings the way we've always known weddings. I think we had Kevin the wedding planner on the program as well, and he was taking us through some of the developments in the wedding space.
Yeah.
But you've particularly picked the niche of digital wedding planning. What is that? For a layman like myself, what
layman's terms. So I guess definitely disrupting a market. So being Southern Africa, we're a very conservative market. We're still very used to that human interaction. In terms of scalability and where we are as the world, we need to develop and scale up, and I think that's where we are in the times. We've still got a lot of work to do in an education process with the online digital space. But we're here to digitalize weddings in Southern Africa and basically promote Southern Africa to the rest of the world, because we've got a lot of golden gems that we need to let the rest of the world know about.
Weddings are a very sensitive space. I think we've all seen the different movies about the bride when she's preparing for her big day. And it's a very personal experience.
Yeah.
So how have you been able to bridge the aspect of it being digital with the personal touch that's included in that industry?
So you don't lose your personal touch at all, and I think that's been one of the biggest things that we had to overcome, being digital and definitely being in a conservative market. It often right at the start took us picking up the phone and speaking to every single one of our couples that had signed up as a couple. Now we have a lot more interactive, solutions on the platform, so your online chat and all of that, where you can literally have a coordinator on standby. So if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're thinking about your wedding ring or what venue, or you're a bit worried about the weather, you've got somebody to speak to online. And I think once people learn the advantages of being digital and being online, it's obviously well received.
And in your business, I imagine you've had to think on your toes quite a bit, because you're operating not just in Zimbabwe, you're in South Africa, and you're across the region. I think there's other plans of expansion in there. So how are you able to really match the diversity of cultures that you're dealing with, between Zimbabwe, between South Africa, between even the racial context?
Yeah.
There's different cultures, there's different tastes.
Yeah.
How do you fit into that mold?
So I would say definitely part of the upbringing, which is what made me realize we can't just stick to one country. I was born and bred in Zimbabwe, lived in Mozambique for 12 years, then went to university in South Africa, And very quickly you learn the landscape of the different cultures, the different traditions, the different, equalities, everything, how business is done, how the landscape works. And I think it's very important to go in with a humble mind. And we're in Mauritius, we're in South Africa. There's a lot of complete rainbow nation, not just South Africa being a rainbow nation, but Southern Africa as a whole. We're talking different languages. So we went into Mozambique, and there's obviously Portuguese. You've got to completely readapt and make sure you've got the right team on board for each and every market to make sure that you're dynamic for each market.
And speaking about dynamic markets and diversity, you're a beautiful blonde hair, blue-eyed young lady. And how's it been working in Africa as a white chick in particular?
What was that episode? The Crazy White Chicks or whatever it was. But I would say I've never seen myself as a white person in Africa. I'm a born and bred African, have been for centuries. And I don't see myself as a white person doing business in Africa. I see myself as an African, and we're here to promote our beautiful continent. And there's nothing, I don't see any, you obviously learn a lot about all the different diversities, but I'm definitely not a white person in Africa. I'm a true born African.
Lovely. I love to hear that. I love those sentiments. And just give us a little bit of context to Chelsea. Who's Chelsea? Where do what was your upbringing like? Where did you study? What were you interested? What were you passionate about when you were younger? Did you know you were going to end up in this space?
In this space. Probably not, or if I knew, I probably would have run a mile. I was born and bred in Zimbabwe, went to Peterhouse, that's my school years, and I grew up in Mozambique, and then went to university in South Africa, like I touched on earlier. I think I was very blessed to have entrepreneurial parents. Whether they had an option or not, I'm not sure, but they really are huge go-getters and entrepreneurs, and I think it was to be able to learn that as an example from a very young age, reading personal development books from the age of 13, and those were my sort of motivators for pocket money, is if you complete Rich Dad, Poor Dad, then you'll get your pocket money, and I think those small things, when you're a teenager, you think you know better, but it does somehow become instilled in you.
Very true.